Every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is April 5th, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? Welcome if you're new. Take a seat, like the stream, share it with your friends, because we are covering quite a bit of information today. We are going to cover the ongoing Skyhook event, as it were. There is some breaking news involving that, and we also will be going over the MER and at least one other thing. Oh yeah, there's a new video and stuff like that. But before anything else, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? I'm doing good. I've got my ship here. I've got my ship here in the middle of a MER space in Pashane. I got a I was doing rogue drone sites this morning, and I got some escalations that led me into a MER space. Did I start? I mean, yeah, I guess I did start a little bit early. That's true. No, I did start a few minutes early. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm chomping at the bit. I got to get in there. But anywho, I got this escalations, and then I got an escalation in a MER space, and I'm still in the Angel Cartel, so that was fun. But I was like, well, maybe I could get in there and get out before the Amar Navy show up to kill me. And luckily I did. I was successful, and it escalated, but it escalated further into a MER space through LOSEC. So once we're done covering all the news, I think that's what I might try to do on stream today. That should be funny. I look forward to it. Give you guys plenty of time to set up a giant blockade or whatever for me if you want. Although I guess I'm not showing it right now, so yay. You know, I often recommend anytime anybody comes to me with like OPSEC stuff, I need to remind streamers, it's like, there is a mechanic in this game that as long as you are in K-space, anyone can find out where you are within like somewhere between 1 to 20 minutes, I think it is, which locator agents. They're not very hard to use. So, I mean, whatever. But before we go into all of that, let us begin. I should probably just dawdle for at least a couple more minutes because... Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's do this first. I don't want to give people a warning. So I have taken out the BPCs, but I do have all of my other stuff in here, which I absolutely shouldn't have if I'm going to be doing what I'm about to be doing. So these drone graviton emitters are the things that we're looking for. And they come off of sentient drones and special cans in rogue drone sites. And that's any rogue drone sites in Empire space. So just normal combat signatures. I got, so far, the best option I've seen has been like scanning down the combat signatures. Because there's the Navy. Even if, like, hold on. Oh, good. Drone menagerie. Can I do a drone menagerie? Probably not. I mean, that would be dumb too. Let's find out. What do you if you go pull? No, they have to be like combat anomalies or signatures. Although I guess if a sentient, if you got a rare spawn in a mission, So there is a sentient. I think that can theoretically happen. I feel like I should probably have tank mode on. Hold on one second while I see if this is going to kill me or not. Probably. Yeah. That's a lot. All right, so that's for Stratios. There are cans that can be found in the drone sites. No problem. Just trying to get a feel for the overall power of this ship. We are flying in a shield tank Hecate. Not for any particular reason other than this was the one ship that I had laying around that had probe launchers that was combat capable at the same time to the threshold that I needed, that I happened to have right there. So that's why I'm flying around in this today. I don't think it's necessarily the best option, but the reason why I want the probes is because the scanned sites, not only do they have guaranteed, many of them have guaranteed sentient drones, but they can also escalate. So the two that I scanned down, the haunted yards, both of them had sentient drones, and both of them escalated. Auto-targeting missiles are also great. You know, the Zappy Boys is also great. Drones, all of those things. Anything that lets you kill things quick. So let's see what the response time is like. So this is what I'm going to have to deal with, which is the fact that I need to get in there and finish the site. But did you see how those rats just spawned? These rats don't like me. So let's see how long it takes for them to actually start attacking me. So they spawned right away, but they don't come after you right away, right? So I have this much time to kill the one rat, loot it, and get off. The last two escalations that I went to, both of them had the one rat. See, look, they basically don't aggro. I had them aggro in the site, though, so they should eventually. Yep, there they go. So, like, 30 seconds to a minute. But either way, I got to get done with the site before that's over, or before they show up. Otherwise, it is over. So, like, the basic scanned signatures, a lot of them have a guaranteed sentient drone in it. And so far, every sentient drone I've gotten, every sentient drone I've gotten today has had one of the drone things. But I got one with like 4 of them yesterday. We are going after rogue drone sites in Empire space because we need to get these drone graviton emitters. Because if you take that plus a bunch of other drone information, drone doodads, to turn in, which is, by the way, something I didn't realize. So we can look at this actually. So if we look at here, there's some screenshots that I took and some other people took. Here's the turn-in. Drone capillary fluid 60, drone tactical limbs 40, drone synaptic relay 100, drone cerebral frame 10, and 1 drone graviton emitter. You turn all of those in for a box, and then This is what I got out of 5 boxes. So out of 5 boxes, I got 2 BPCs and about 95 million ISK worth of sheets that could be then sold to any member corporation of Upwell, of which there are 2 stations in system that will sell it, or buy it rather. No, I have not talked about that yet, Dutch. Yes, there was a surprise live event today. That is okay. We can talk about that too while we're on our way. So there also was a live event today where, and this is from the ARC Discord. So thank you, ARC Discord, and those of you that post there. But we see like here are the local conversation from Oivikin today. And so what we're seeing here is Orvamir Pollard was the convoy leader from the convoy that was attacked, right? And so there's a bit of a hazing going on here. I'm not actually, like, I don't know if we have all of the messages or anything like that. But it seems like this convoy ended and then like it was just like a little thing that happened. Now they can get away with this because everybody's got their eyes on this system. Like they could guarantee that there was somebody paying attention in the system when this happened in order to notice it, or whatever, as much as they could guarantee it. But I also think that this means that it might be worth keeping an eye on this system, right? Because this was a fairly innocuous. Nothing really happened here, right? There was no story beat. They got home. There's no reason why they would have done this particular thing, right? It's not, I don't think DZ's just bored right now and so did it. I think that this likely suggests that there's going to be more things happening in this area, so it's worth keeping our eyes out. They moved badgers around with new Chris chips in them, but we weren't able to get any. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be the last time that we see this. Oh no, there's no fuck. This is what I was worried about. There's no damn it. Yeah, I can't finish this one. I'm gonna get screwed. Do the rats scram? Oh boy. I know they web. I'm just killing the freaking... Oh, they haven't actually... I'm kind of panicking. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, there they go. Now they're going. Whoa! Why am I not warping? Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that. Jesus. All right. Well, that's not happening. Got it. If I land on fucking eating calm, I swear to God. Okay. Well, time to head back home then. Actually, time to head back to AU, right? What is it? AUV? Someone Mari. I've been awakened. There it is. Cleansed by holy fire. That's true. All right. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Nothing to see here. Perfectly fine. Okay. So, but as I said, like the well, we can turn in the cans now. That's different. And it does take that material that that I showed earlier, which is about roughly 5 million ISK worth of drone drops. I was making the joke that earlier that they basically are just trying to make the geckos as expensive as possible. First, they made it so that they don't drop anymore because they got rid of the Easter event, and then they put in an event that makes people use up all of the material that's used in building them. I mean, this is how every um, Galente hull should look, right? It's hull tanked, right? It's hull tanked. Check it out. Look at that. Oh. Yeah. An assembly. Oh. Hopefully I don't get killed by this other person. What are they in? Well, the drone assembly is within 14 AU, so it's obviously not, they're not there. I'll just have to keep an eye on B-scan. Yep, we're on fire. Don't forget to swap to mobility mode when traveling. Well, that only really counts if you're using your prop. I guess it does affect the inertia modifier. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You only need the only hit point that matters is the last one. So basically, every one of these doodads takes about 5 million ISK worth of everything, other things, in order to turn in. And the turn in is worth about 20 million ISK, and or the BPC. And the BPCs are going right now for 70 to 90 million. I think that it'll shift over time. Obviously, right now, these are highly available. It'll be interesting to see how available they are later, after this is done. With one thing to note, with all of these new consortium stuff and everything coming out, they are sort of setting themselves up for a consortium LP store, aren't they? Maybe one that can sell you Edencom ships? Oh, maybe they could just reclass Edencom ships into Concord, or into Upwell ships and call it a day. And we all can collectively forget that Edencom ever happened. Everybody can reasonably do this content in high sec. That's the nicest thing about this, is that like every rogue drone site, and rogue drone sites are everywhere, every rogue drone site has a chance of giving you a rare spawn. Edencom hack when? That'd be kind of interesting. I mean, I think that you could totally do it. I think that you could totally do it. Edencom getting their own market group is interesting. How long ago did that change? Yeah, I was thinking about that. You can make it so that it changed to 15 targets instead of 10. Let me get safe, and then we'll do MER stuff. Well, other stuff. Oh God, they want me to go through Amazon? Fuck, 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 fuck. I mean, that's not much better, but it is better. Gross. Yeah, now I will switch to propulsion mode. I want an eating calm chain heel ship. That's I want to go full like shaman. Yeah, if you're in Galmil, it's going to be hard to get to Voikin, whatever. Yeah, it is unfortunate. I think that there should be an equivalent position for people in the Galente militia or in the Guristas to be able to turn in. So the question is, can I get away in time? The answer is probably not. So let's do this. All right. So that's not going to work either. All right. Whew. Yeah, you can do it with an alt. Yeah, it's not like you're getting a standings or anything like that. It's not like the person who turns it in is getting anything for turning it in. You know, you can just have somebody turn it in and give you the cans or whatever. One thing I did notice is that the parts were still on sale in that system for pretty cheap. I almost bought up like 500 million ISK worth of parts and then relisted it all. Take a 56 jump. Let's see how this goes. Wait, isn't this exactly where I already was? Oh, well. Anywho. I can go to Caldari Space and do the drone stuff there. I mean, I don't recommend doing any PvE in Caldari Space. Yeah. Yeah, you just turn it in with an alt. Luckily, like the transportation Synesis, so check this out. So this Synesis right here, you could probably, hold on. Like, well, that takes it has a Tech 2 Spectrum shield hardener, but you should already have that. Expanded cargo hold 2 only requires hull upgrades too. So most players should be able to use this fit basically instantly. And it flies at 1790 cargo M3, and it has, without its prop on, a sub 2 second align time. Now, this sub 2 second align time is dependent on your skills. If you don't have a sub 2 second align time here, you might need to take off one of the other expanded cargo holds and put a second inertial stabilizer in to get it under 2 seconds. But effectively, at this point, you now have a thing with 1,400 to 1,700 cargo that cannot be caught by players based on your warp time. Solitude is a good place to do the sights. I've just been hitting the ones in low sec because who cares? I mean, when I see them. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, every player should have a transportation synesis. Oof, look at all those gun stars. So let's see. While I am traveling, actually, let me get out of this low sec area that's spooky and interesting. When I get somewhere boring, then I'll talk about the other news. Sounds like a fair. Yeah. I'm an enemy. I'm an enemy. You're an enemy. We're all enemies. Bit of a trip through low sec to get to Solitude. Making semi-regular DST trips out there to low sec was something I've done periodically. So yeah, hey. So the biggest key to operating in Solitude that I can give to anybody is scoot a scanner over to Solitude and then scan the Solitude high-sec systems for wormholes every day that you want to do stuff and see if there's any high-sec connections to somewhere that you want to be, like high-sec to high-sec connections that are useful to you. And then just as soon as you get one, capitalize on it, you know? Just like act like it's a giant freaking wormhole or something of high-sec. All right, I'm in Concord space now. I think that makes me safe. Safe from the MER, at least, I mean. So let's look at... Before I get too deep into anything else, I did want to show off this Reddit post. Now, there is like a big Plex deal going on right now, but I know some of you guys are kind of like sketchy on Reddit, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this was a breakdown of the different stuff, and it looks like they are saying that it's a pretty good deal. But I should have any of these links or websites I showed today, there should be links down below already. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, there is like a really serious Plex sale. And it is corresponding with an Omega sale. And that's what makes this so powerful, right? Is that like when you get a Plex sale and an Omega sale at the same time, then you can really get some efficient purchases. And on top of that, you can get you get the Empyrean Outlaw skins, which are let's just pick the alligator. So they have this skull on it and it says steal the future. And when you get a kill mark, or when you get a kill, like a lightning effect happens on top of the skull. So they're pretty cool and they're very valuable. So just something to think about. In other random news, there is a video called How Big the Avatar Really Is that was posted by EVE Online. It's an 11-minute long video that covers the Avatar and all kinds of information about it. Everything from how it's built to how it's used to how it's the most powerful capital ship in the game and all this kind of stuff. It is, and to me, this really feels like it is an advertisement not only for EVE and the Avatar, but really specifically, this feels like an advertisement for joining nullsec groups, right? Like one of the things they're like, they tease at the very beginning of it that they'll cover what it takes to own one of these things. And the spoiler of it is that what it takes to own one of these things is to be part of an alliance that can help you protect it, right? And I mean, that's fair and true and all that sort of stuff. But this does come across as like a join nullsec alliances, do this cool stuff. And like, I think that that's fine. I'm not complaining about that, for the record. I think that it's telling because, you know, CCP has kind of ignored nullsec a lot, but the next expansion is going to be nullsec focused, as well as ship customization and stuff like that. So I find it interesting that they put out this video now, and they didn't make this video. They had a third-party person, you know, third-party group make this video, and then they published it. So I'm not sure exactly the details behind that or anything like that, but like this feels to me like the kind of thing that they do right before they're going to be focusing on this kind of thing. So that way the people that join or are looking into that can find this media already here and well established, right? So the one thing, and I need people to correct me if I'm wrong, the one thing that I really caught out of this video wasn't the fact of what's in here, but it's what's not in here, right? So, well, yeah, I mean, they talk about how big and expensive it is and how hard it is to do it and all that stuff. They just say like, well, it's really foolish to have one solo. You pretty much need to have a group. And that's true. That's fine. But so they talk about its power and they talk about what it takes to build it. All of the resources, all of the minerals, all of the time, the structure, and how the structure needs to be defended and all this sort of stuff. The one detail, and they also say all kinds of stuff in like meta terms, right? They talk about, oh, this can allow players to bridge and, you know, all this sort of stuff. So definitely not like an in-universe nerdy thing or whatever. This is the mechanics of this ship. It's everything about this ship. The requirements to build it, they even show the skill levels that are required to build this particular ship. What they don't show and what they don't mention is that it requires sovereignty to build. And so here's my, God damn it, I'm getting kind of excited by reading between the lines moment, where it's like, one of the biggest problems with Titans in LowSec is the fact that it allows people, you know, like basically they can be used against people that cannot acquire them for themselves. Faction warfare And people say like, oh, well, just go get sovereignty. But that's a whole separate like gameplay. Like, oh, well, if you want to do good faction warfare, then be a null group. It's like, wait, no, but that's not faction warfare, right? So like this idea of like, I've always asked for the ability for supers to project into nullsec to be limited, or sorry, into lowsec to be limited. But there is an interesting thought, especially if they're going to be focusing a lot more on NPC nullsec and faction warfare space and all this kind of stuff. It would be very interesting if they are going to make it so that you could build these in any Sodio and not require sovereignty. Am I wrong? Did they mention anything about sovereignty in there? And yes, I understand you can just buy a Titan, but like, we know that there's big developments coming in, like the Skyhook. Like a lot of people are pretty much, it seems like the Skyhook is kind of the community term for this thing until we get a better term for it. By the way, the Triglavian sphere used to be called the science ball. So, I mean, you know, terms can mean whatever. But, you know, a Skyhook with tractor beam functionalities really sounds like there's a lot of theories that this is related to like a PI rework or POCO rework, which the fact that POCOs still operate on the older system is kind of obnoxious, actually. You know, we've already introduced much more robust systems for managing things through access lists, and yet POCOs still remain tied to the standings of a corporation to other things. And so I think that the idea that these could be replacements for POCOs is a salient one, even if not that interesting a one. Let's stock up for now. PI overhaul would be really nice. Yes. All right. And then in other random news, yesterday on Discord, I asked everybody a question, which is real simple. What is this? What is this thing? Oh. What just happened? Hold on. Oh. Tranquilla MER. Thank you so much for that. So, what is this thing? Right? This is what I asked myself a lot. And it turns out that there is a good answer, but it's a really funny way of figuring it out. So, I brought this to the ARC Discord. You can actually hold on. Let's just look at it a little bit more. Very drifter techy looking, but it has like police lights on it. That's the thing. And I found this in an invasion system on like all different kinds of gates. But then we found that there were other gates, even within the invasion, that did not have one of these police cars on it. So I went running to the ARC Discord because that's the only place you can go when you're confused about something lore related. And they showed me that actually in the patch notes, a few months ago, 2 months ago, there's something in the patch notes, and I even remember reading this, and it is, I was confused by it. Fixed an issue where police bobs at suppressed gates, stations, and hangars were heard but not seen. And then if we look later on, in the patch notes, we see, as suppression goes up, stargates and stations will start to feature police drones and bobs. So there you go. That's what happened. So this system that I was at had increased its suppression, and that is one of the police drones that now show up at Concord stations. Yeah, the lightning effects on the bottom are really weird. That's for sure. But yeah, this is just another indication. Like, CCP keeps adding all of these little tiny things to make the game feel more alive. and change between the state of operations. And from my understanding, you can actually find these things inside. Why does it look like they have weapons too? They look like they have railguns on them. You can actually see these things inside of stations in suppressed systems as well.
Just thanks for all the information you provide to the EVE community.
Thank you so much, Tranquilla Mare. It means a lot to me, especially right now. Trying to, get back on the saddle and everything. Today, we've done 4 streams this week, so hell yeah. What is it, Bob? I don't know. I don't know why they call him that. God, is this going to get me in trouble? Police Bobs. Nope. That's not going to get me anything. All right. Yeah, I don't know why they're called Bobs. Okay. Now then. All that said, to the main event of the day. The monthly economic report. We generally go over the monthly economic report. We usually call it like Ashtarothi doesn't know anything about the EVE economy, March 2020, YC126 edition. That's probably what it's going to be called. Why don't you... So there's nothing to click on. They're not selectable in any way. They did seem to bump into my character. But it also, somebody reported that when like sleepers warped in or seekers warped in, it caused them to kind of glitch out and appear in different places. CCP's been working on new like drone visual tech since like 2019. And I think that that's where a lot of these like shuttles that we're seeing like going around in space stations and everything is. And I just think this is like the next generation of that. So I don't think that they're physically there in the same way that like a normal ship that you'd be able to, show info on is there. But yeah, let's jump into the monthly economic report. As normal, or as always, we have previous monthly economic reports. We have February, January, December, etc., as well as the evaluation by Angry Mustache. We'll look at that as well. But there is an important thing to note at the very beginning of this, which is that this month we've changed the valuation of asteroids to be closer to the actual market value and less affected by price fluctuations caused by low volume trades and highly affects the asteroid prices. We also removed items from the consumer price index that we felt should not be there because these items are mostly traded between players and NPCs. Asteroids are now valued at 70% refining value. The following graphs are affected by the change: production and destruction versus mining, and summary of key economic features by region. The Overseer personal effects, sleeper components, Triglavian data, rogue drone analysis data, and bounty encrypted bonds were removed from the consumer price index. These changes have minor effects on the following graphs: economic indices, full history, economic indices since 2018, and decomposition of consumer price index. You can download all of the raw data, blah, 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 blah. All right. And a little bit of analysis from Angry Mustache before we even jump in like too deep into the actual things. Let's look at what he has to say about it. Cause he's on the CSM and this is like what he does. So basically you can see this is and we'll look at these a little bit closer, but you can see like this is the February graph. And we're looking mostly at this mining blue line. And this is the corrected graph. See how different it is? Like, it's so different. Like, there's one, there's two. No, I'm just kidding. If it really helps to look at it this version that he posted to see like, oh, okay, well, basically it just smoothed out a whole bunch of spikes. For the record, this is why, like, when organizations do a buyback based on the ore's value, there is a very good chance that you're being scammed, right? Like the problem is that the basic ore, especially the non-compressed version of the ore, is generally not very traded in, with very few exceptions. so since most people trade in the compressed ore or the minerals, the low volume of actual ore means that it swings wildly. And this also is impacted by, especially like, say, a lot of newer players who are more likely to just go and sell all with the ore that they've mined, and therefore sell to the cheaper buy orders, and therefore have a lower average. Okay. So if you think about it, like 70% refinement isn't that hard to get better than. So and the numbers were pretty close, as it were. So if they're buying it from you at ore value with not refined value, chances are that's it's a red flag at the very least. I'll put it that way. Okay, so the one thing I do want to push back, he says the refined value is set at 70%, which is undervalues mined ore quite a lot. 85% is easily attainable across all areas of space. To get the true value of mined ore, increase the number by about 20%. This is ridiculous. And I mean, I love Angry Mustache. He's incredibly intelligent. But this is very clearly a nullsec-centric take. The idea that, like, I imagine, I'm going to guess that this 70% value is actually chosen because CCP determined that that's like the average amount that people refine in. Now, obviously, nullsec and good lowsec people will be able to get better refinement rates than this. 20% above 70% is 90%. 90%. Let's just look at his actual claim, right? His actual claim of 85% is easily attainable across all areas of space. Well, okay. According to this post from 1 year ago, which I don't think it's been changed that much since then, the highest reprocessing yield should be 80.92%, which is maxed skills, implant, a Tatara, and a T2 rig. And so that means, like, the absolute best, is 80.92%. The absolute best in nullsec is 90%. So yeah, either way, I'm just calling out that one little argument, but otherwise, very, very smart guy. I love his analysis. It is worth noting, and this is why I'm kind of looking at this ahead of time. Corrected regional data for historical is not provided. So going forward, regional mining data ISK value will not necessarily be comparable to past regional ISK mining value or mining ISK data, which is also going to be wrong due to market value, but will be internally consistent to itself and more accurate. Great. So that is true. So we're going to keep that in mind when we're looking at today's MER. Yes, 90.6% is the max efficiency in null source. I do it daily. Yeah, 80% is really good in high sec. So I would imagine that given the number of people that are just reprocessing in NPC stations, 70% sounds like a pretty decent, just like ballpark average of all reprocessing percentages made across the entire game. I'm not saying that that's true, but if somebody like said that to me offhandedly, I wouldn't even check it. All right. So let's see. We already looked at these two charts, but one thing that we do see is either way you slice it, the continued trend, actually, no, in the last month. Wait, okay. Hold on. Now I'm confused. Oh, because I'm looking at the wrong month. Got it. Okay. Okay. Got it. Check it out. So that's the big difference. That is the big difference. Let's look. I think I finally understand what this chart is. Okay. So we're not actually looking at the blue line. I'm an idiot. Did anybody correct me earlier? Nope. Nobody corrected me. Great. Awesome. I'm an idiot. The mining line is actually the brown line. So that would be this line. And what we're seeing is that giant spike up. And we see that in the February MER. And then in the today's MER, that spike is completely gone. I mean, it's still a hump, but like that makes sense. You can see that this is a little bit more wavy, and that giant spike is noteworthy. So yeah, we don't have that anymore. But otherwise, we do see that we've entered into a phase that we're doing more mining than destruction, which is kind of interesting. No one else here knows the MER either. That's fair. Okay. Summary of key economic figures by region. Normally, I like to look at Pochman. Actually, so here's the other weird thing, okay? Here's the weird thing. Tell me if I'm crazy. Hold on. Is Drake Idion here by any chance? Because earlier today, I came to what I thought was this exact thread, and Drake Idion had posted like his analysis of it, and that was the only analysis that was up. Like it was the only comment that was on because it was a newer post. And now Angry Mustaches is the only one that's here. So am I crazy? Okay, well, I mean, fair enough. We did say that the spike was likely due to an error. Good. I'm glad I got that wrong. Right. No. So Pochvin, I think he said that like basically PvE in Pochvin is up. PvP is down. But also like a bunch of the Marauders got killed, and that had some sort of effect. Either way, Pochvin had 2.4 trillion destroyed, same as last month, basically. Pochvin does basically around 2.5 or 2 to 2.5 to 3 billion. Nope, it was down then. So yeah, Pochvin has definitely recovered in its damage compared to that. Any other outliers? It's interesting that, so this is another good, so here's a good example, okay? The Citadel mined 1.99 trillion yesterday or last month using the old way of analyzing things. But this month, the Citadel mined 2.75 trillion ISK worth of ore. So, nope, that's destruction. I'm an idiot. Well, let's look at that. 0.8 trillion to 0.9 trillion. Okay, well, I mean, that's less impressive. Quirius. Insmother, 3.3 trillion before. Let's see where they're at now. 1.67. Look at that delve number. Hold on. 2.24 trillion to 2.65 trillion. So, yeah, I wonder how much of that change in value comes from increased mining and how much of that comes from increased value in calculation. I guess we'll find out. Asteroid ore mined value over time. Volume mined over time. I mean, I guess we're not going to fully find out, but it looks like it's basically steady. I mean, well, no, it was, because this is March, February, January, February, March. Yeah, so it looks like we have a downtick. And it looks like it's shared a little bit by both nullsec and highsec. I would say, like the highsec is definitely down a little bit, but the nullsec, like the spikes are way sharp, like no longer as sharp. I don't know. Here we go. Asteroid ore. Aha! Here we go. Asteroid ore mined volume by region. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So Delve went from 7 billion, 6.5 billion to 6 billion. So yeah. Well, that's only asteroid ore. Let's look at moon ore. It went from Delve at 5 billion, Delve at 5 billion in moon ore. So the asteroid ore dropped off, but the moon ore is basically the same. But the overall value has gone up. I think I'm interpreting all of that correctly. Like, not overall value in real terms, but overall value in how it's calculated by this calculator. All right. That's so much mining. Hey, 3-foot. Gas is pretty much exactly steady from last month. Gas volume mined by region. Vale, Iridia. Vale, Iridia at both. They're both up about 10% from last month. Which, I guess that's less being mined other places. Let's look. Yeah, it looks like it kind of like these other ones, Placid and Lone Trek. Wait, no, they went up. Oh yeah, okay. So Vale and Iridia went down a little bit. I don't know. Hold on. 40. No, they're up. 35. Everything's up. Weird. You need a second screen for these comparisons? Yeah. I think I could probably do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that another time. But the point is that it's not enough to be noticeable, so whatever. Ice mine value over time, we can see that nullsec ice had a big spike up at the very end of this month. I'm assuming, did the war end? Because like it goes back to being kind of normal from before. The forge being the #1 place that ice is being mined. 2.2 to 3. Okay, well, just more ice is being mined in the forge, first of all. More everything is being mined. And we can see, but this says that most of the nullsec ice gained would be in nullsec. Delve? Delve was at 1.5. Yeah, I mean, they are up. Capital capital fuel, lots of fleets moving around. Okay. So many moon mining structures being dropped? Are there a bunch of moons being dropped right now? Also, am I the only one who hates the multicolored bar graphs that are completely useless for anything other than confusing you? I don't know which one. You mean like these ones? I think it's kind of useful. It packs a lot of information into one thing. Moon ore looks pretty consistent. I do notice that they got rid of this little snafu in there. Whoa. Yeah, you can see domain. Domain shot up from 3 billion to 5 billion. And yet there's no noticeable uptick here. Wait. Oh, I guess that's 5 billion for the, so this is 5 billion for the whole month, and this is per day? Something like that. Per week? Maybe. Per day? That's the other thing, is that these spikes could be spread across, like, this little uptick, actually, this little uptick probably represents the entirety of this increase in nullsec ice mining, now that I think about it. Because these graphs are across the entire month, like this block is the month, whereas this graph is that entire block condensed into one stat. They do drop this info in spreadsheet form. I could get like more sophisticated with how I do these things, but then I might be like confused with someone who's taking it seriously. Here's the economy import exports. We have at the best or most exports, Catch is exporting a bunch of stuff. I'm assuming that that's a weapons being moved, a fleet, you know, like a navy. Citadel actually exported more than it imported? Is that common? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. Oh, yeah, because the Forge is not the Citadel. Of course. There's the Forge. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. There's no way. You can't tell because they find have a common base. They're on top of the others. Say what? Hold on. You can't tell because they have a common. I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you try again, and then I'll try to read it because I can't piece that one together. Find is don't. You can't tell because they don't have a common base. They are on top of another stay that have a common base. Okay. So, yeah, right. Yeah. Like if they were overlapping each other, then it would be a little bit, it is a little bit difficult to suss out where each one is coming from. I feel that. But it does, like I said, it packs a lot of information into a very nice graph. Another stat that has a common base. Fair enough. Any intel on coming events? Well, right now, I guess right now is just the rogue drone thing, but I will suggest that if Upwell's interested in these graviton things, then other people might be soon. I want a Vorton projection rifle in Vanguard. That'd be hilarious. Achieved 07. Hey guys, make sure you go check out Ashiv's channel. Like he does really good YouTube content. He analyzes both EVE Online and EVE Echoes. One of the ones I want to dig into more is he just recently did a video that kind of explores the monetization between EVE Online and EVE Echoes and why, even though these are very similar games, EVE Online's monetization really, really works and EVE Echoes really, really doesn't. Very interesting stuff from somebody who's actually played quite a bit of both. A lot of assets from the big null blocks were staged in the F4R Keep Star Fight and Catch. Likely all that stuff is moving away again. Yeah, probably. Anything to make me play again? I've been sleeping on EVE for about a year now, finding it hard to come back. So, we are pretty close to being like, I mean, I would say that right now we're in the before times. right? If Havoc interests you, and if the insurgencies and that kind of stuff is interesting content for you, if you really like the idea of like, I want to do faction warfare, but as a pirate, and the kind of indulge in the chaos that kind of revels in, then you have something for you. But there's a lot coming, both this summer and soon. And CCP has been rolling out more and more things that are tied to this stuff with Vanguard and with, like the Rogue Drone event that's going on and Epiphany and other stuff like that. So as far as like day to day paying attention to what's going on in EVE, there's a lot. Like if you're, say, running a YouTube channel where we talk about stuff, there's often lots to talk about. There is some other good PvE content that has come out recently. Homefronts are fairly newbie friendly, but are incredibly good ISK for what they are. Imagine like, so if incursions were EVE raiding, then Homefronts are like just a 5-man dungeon. They take 10 minutes or so, and you can make about 75 to 100 million ISK per hour, so pretty decent ISK, but it does take 5 people. In Before the Skyhook turns out to be where you fly to apply Skinner skins to your ship. That doesn't track. The Skinner's being developed by Evermore. Awesome achieved. Yeah, so the standings issue is a lot better now. You can direct enlist. You do need standings to direct enlist, but you can always join like a corporation that's in the militia, either in Angels or Garistas or any of the 4 other core empires. And then that allows you to get in. They have done a lot of new stuff to faction warfare. Faction warfare really is like where the action is at right now. All right. Carrying on. So, bounty prizes. We look at bounty prizes and a few other stats to kind of look at other health metrics, right? So bounties last month was at 44.8. This month is at 47.7. Previous to that, it was 56 and 61. No, that's commodity. Bounty, 42, 41, 38. I'm dumb. And then 41. So, yeah, it dipped down last month and it's back up a little bit. With commodities, went from 44 to 47, which is really weird because didn't they make it so that commodities don't count in here anymore? Oh, no, this isn't the chart that they were talking about, I don't think. ESS main bank auto payments. So this is kind of an indication of how much of this is ratting. Auto payment went from 19.7 to 21.3. So yeah, there's definitely been an increase in ratting this month. Triglavian invasions went from 16 to 18. That's running like the Pochvin sites, etc. Incursions went from 11 to 14. I think that incursions were also pretty suppressed. Yeah, 11, or sorry. Oh, wow, 17 before that. And 14. So yeah, it's actually pretty low still, comparatively. I mean, it's fine. Agent mission rewards went from 3.6 to 4 trillion. And LP store, which is how we determine like LP activity, is 14.5 to 16.1. So more LP being turned in, causing more fees. And then also broker's fee went from 11 or 10 to 11, so 10% more broker's fee, more trades. There were groups ending incursions prematurely for some drama reason. I think I remember that. Yeah, there's always some mothership drama brewing, it feels like. Commodities over time. Here we go. Is there a difference in these two charts? I don't think so. It ends there. It's just that last, yeah, it draws the line there. Got it. Yep, so that spike, so it ends there. Cool. So this month we see an increase, a re-uptick in, well, a buildup of sleeper components throughout the course of the month, kind of. Overseer effects are kind of the same. Triglavian data is everything's kind of steady right now. Although it looks like everything's mildly ticking up, but Overseer personal effects drop down, likely because it's been a while since we've had an event. Isk's sinks and faucets over time. Does this one change? Yeah. So we can see like this is going down. Oh no, I guess I mean, whatever. I don't know. But bounty prizes are steady, but trending a little bit up. They're actually higher than they've been in the last 2 years, 3 years. So that's good. Commodities are, remaining kind of low because you can see like these spikes are the events happening. And again, like I said, it's been now a little while since the last event. Triglavian invasions has crept up again. Bunch of incursions, there it is. And we can see that like minor uptick in LP store. Money supply over time has actually stopped climbing as much as it has before, and it's sort of leveled off. However, it looks like, at least for the last month, almost the entirety of wealth. Now, we've been seeing a trend where, like, see this big spike in character of wealth? I think that was a lot of players coming back into the game. And then this fall off could potentially have been players being counted as inactive again. But it is interesting that like basically the entirety of this month's progress seems to be from corporation increase of corporation wealth increase. I wonder if this is because corporations, like, it'd be interesting to see, because I think that this line is going up faster now. I wonder how much better corporations are able to make their own money now that corporation projects are a thing. Velocity of ISK, which is the amount of time a single ISK changes hands, remains steady from its kind of fall off. Mineral price index remains extremely high. I mean, this is all the way back to 2014, so this is mineral price index continues to be basically second highest point it's ever been at in the history of EVE. I don't know if this consumer price index ticked down because of differences in calculation. Let's check. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Because it's basically a swoop down. But I also didn't, like, some of these ones are going to be hard to suss out exactly how much the data affected it. So mineral price index delta is up by 0.3%. Consumer price index up by 1%. Or is that, hold on. Can deltas be negative? Would it show a negative number there? Are those all three growth? I think those are all three growth, right? Yeah, or all four rather. 1%, 2.3%, and 4.2%. Pretty sure that's how deltas work. Consumer price index. We're going to see accessories go up again. Implants are going down. Tech 1 modules are down. Tech 2 rigs are down. Delta's comparison to 1 year ago can be negative. Okay. Mineral price index. We have low-end minerals is trending down, where high-end minerals are trending down, but not as much. So you can see that little tick down. It's more coming from high end, or sorry, low end than high end, but yeah. Raw moon minerals has gone, or raw moon materials has gone up pretty significantly. A lot of the increase in value of the primary producer is that, because commodities are down, advanced moon materials are down, asteroids are a little bit up. Yeah, a lot of, basically almost all of that uptick, that downtick and uptick is this. It's in raw moon materials, which is crazy to me. Oh. Secondary producer price index. Big drop off on salvage materials. Tech 2 also was down. Tech 2 rigs. Commodity is down. Accessories is up. Starbase structures are down. Well, it looks like it recovered a little bit. Where's the recovery? I don't see. Oh, yeah, I guess it's all in accessories. I always forget what it is that would be an accessory that causes that much. Wait, it's skill injectors, isn't it? Gotta be. Yep. Large skill inject. All of the skill extractors and injectors are commodities, or are accessories. But yeah, that's what they are. I know we figured this out before, but I always forget it too. So ship and module prices since 2018. What we can see here is like, so this is the real effect of the reign of the Rorqual, right? This giant drop in the value of ships. But it's worth noting, like, if you look, the difference between 2018 and now across the board with all ships is not actually that big of a difference. You know, people like to talk about how there's been this massive inflation, but that's mostly on the upper end stuff. On the lower end stuff, it actually hasn't changed that much. But the modules are up 20%. Well, you know, whatever, up 4.5% from a year ago. But you know, they've gone back up since the end of scarcity. But if you think about it, like, most of the low end ships are actually cheaper than they were before. It's only once you get up to about battleship and above that it gets to anything. Yes, this is a new page this month, I think. Here is the breakdown of wormhole stuff that looks really cool. Wormhole trade summary. We have blue loot at 15.5, up from 13, 5 to 5. So up across the board for blue loot, which I think makes sense with what we saw earlier. 1, 5, -2, 1, 5. Pretty much the same with industry. Like, I mean, as in, like, nothing has changed. And materials, 0.4, 9, 2, 8, 12, 2. So high class mining materials are up. And as Angry pointed out, like, there's a big war going on in C6 wormholes. So next month will be the interesting one to look. Yeah, Oki. Exactly that. And then largest battle by solar system. It's kind of a cool graph to look at, but I don't think there's anything meaningful to pull out of it. And that's it. That's the MER for March 2024, YC126. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if did I get anything wrong? Do I not understand something? What don't I understand? What should I look at a little bit closer? And more importantly, like, what is your theory as to why some of these numbers conflict with each other? Help me understand. But that's it for me. I've been Ashtarothi, not live, but if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Like the channel, like the stream video, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff. Consider, and if you really like what I'm doing, consider becoming a member. It's only $1 a month. You get early access to videos and emotes and all sorts of stuff. There's other plans and whatever. Either way, thank you guys so much. I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. Woo. All right. So that's what I had planned for today. I'm going to politely ask for a summary of this MER analysis at the end because I'm lost. Not much has changed, honestly. Like, the TLDR of this one is kind of business as usual. Some things are a little bit up, some things are a little bit down, but we are in a very steady. A lot of these graphs are pretty flat right now, which is not a bad thing. That's just like, we're recovering from a war. We're going into a war. They fixed some wonkiness from last month. Hey, Punch with 5 gifted subs. 07 to you. Am I still poor with 5 billion ISK in your wallet? Look, no amount of ISK will make you poor or not poor. It's how much you decide. It's what you decide you are that matters. So, on behalf of Lone Gamer UK, Lurch Vader, Deviance Ool, Slab Candy, and David Bartley, thank you so much to Punch for making this all, and thank you for making this show possible. Punch, you're one of the best. Very much maintaining the status quo until the expansion. Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, right now, in particular, why doesn't my alerts have sounds anymore? I'm gonna have to look into that. Uh-oh. Oh, that's fine. Like, right now, we know that something is coming, but not what it is. So this is a very kind of, like, calm before the storm's time. Where's this? Metropolis. See, I keep on getting stuff in systems that I can't go to. So when I'm looking for these combat anomalies, what I do is I open up the agency, because you can see like, stuff in systems one jump away. So I see that Monarch has a drone assembly. So we're going to see if that's there. I have now escaped poverty. I decided to be... Look, I'll put it this way. If you have more than 1 billion ISK liquid, whether or not you consider yourself rich is 100% up to you, right? Like, with 1 billion ISK liquid, you can at least consider recovering almost any, like, normal ship that most people fly around. You're not going to automatically replace your Marauder or your Carrier the second you lose it or whatever. But, like, 1 billion ISK on hand is a pretty good amount. Is there an event live right now? Well, there's a challenge, so to speak. You can go to rogue drone sites and get these new special doodads called drone graviton emitters, and then buy you the pink Galnet skin, please. I need to know which ship. I'm a cheap date. I mean, I can make this happen. See, there's the drone assembly. Now, as far as like which sites escalate and are good and all that sort of stuff, I was looking into that, but honestly, since they can all kind of have what they need. Jeez, there's 3 people in here already. That's funny. That is correct. That is Danny from Voices into the Void. I pinged you years ago on Twitter. You guys murdered a buddy in a Thanatos that was just trying to join goons. Oh, man. Danny, I bet you didn't know you were going to get called out this morning. I will say, if you are returning to EVE, I do have a video that I put out a year ago called Returning to EVE, Watch This First, that still has a ton of very useful information for anybody who's trying to join, or, you know, that's coming back to EVE. Yeah. Sorry, your connection's breaking up. Can't hear you. Connection's bad. I miss Voices from the Void too. I'm just happy that she hangs out with us. You can hang out with us too by joining our Discord. We're in there all the time, just hanging out in voice chat. Sometimes we're even doing stuff in EVE. Most of the time we're doing Phasmophobia. But sometimes we're doing stuff in EVE. Question about some obscure lore. Did they ever expand on Prisoner 47 Kingslaver lore? That one isn't familiar to me. Hold on. Prisoner 47 is a MER commander imprisoned in a secret Mimitar prison facility. In his time, this is passed from desperation to exhaustion to enlightenment and fearlessness. Oh, it's from the Kingslaver. I don't think so. I do not think that they followed up on that anyway. But hell, I also didn't think that they would bring back the Life Giver, so. Or the Quartermaster. Stratius. Now that's a good choice for this setup, I think. I may go get my Stratios. I think it's in Zarzak. Uh-oh. I have a new problem. I wonder if that war target's going to show up here or not. I'm not really fit for fighting. You haven't noticed? Hmm. Since I'm in IT, that's my everyday life, though. Wait. New problems. Oh, hey, Torin. Whenever you hear this, hi. I might look into it more. Let's scan down the cosmic signature. Ah! I wasn't supposed to, I was supposed to launch my probes before I warp. The problem really is the people. It's true. Problem exists between chair and keyboard, right? To err is human. To really screw things up requires a computer. Wormhole. I do love this skin. This skin is the whole reason why I'm flying this ship right now. Well, I mean, like, besides the fact that it was the only one that was there that did what I needed it to do. A lot of ID10T. My buddy used to work at tech IT at a college, and he had his ID10T list or whatever. There was one teacher that literally every single day she would call, and he would have to go down there and reboot her computer. And it did not matter how plainly he broke down how to do it. She still needed him to go and reboot her computer pretty much at least once a day. This was back in like 2000 though. So like a little different. Does anybody know if there's a good like Homefront's website or resource? She needed a reboot, but he didn't. No. You think a teacher that needs that much assistance in operating their computer is like all right, I just got to disconnect and reconnect. I should be back. You might need to refresh. I don't know why I'm saying it out loud, because anybody who can hear me doesn't need it. We're going through Uedama. I could scan down the signatures in Uedama, but I think I have enough of everything to do at least one turn in. So I'm heading there now. It's all right, man. I get distracted when I'm trying to edit all the time too. Hey, look, border rare ore. So here's a good one, guys. So this is for all of you like newer players that are looking for good opportunities for mining or whatever. Any system that's adjacent to a low-sec system, even though this is Uedama, so, you know, whatever, not really great. But any system that is adjacent to a low-sec or null-sec system, any high-sec system, can have an Empire border rare ore asteroid field that spawns. And this asteroid field actually contains all kinds of great stuff. Now, these get hoovered up right away. So if you see one, you got to grab it right away. Otherwise, it'll all be gone. But we can see, like, there's Yttrium here, which has Isogen, which is normally a low-sec only ore. We have Dulcium, which has Megasite, another important one. We have Jet Ochre, which is a low-sec ore that has Mexilon, Isogen, and Noxium. Iferium, that has Zydrine. These are all very, very, very good ore. This is the best ore mining that you're going to find in high-sec. Okay, so if you find one of these guys, jump on it. Satonia! I'm not recommending them to mine in Uedama. I just happen to see it in Uedama. Although I bet I made the miners a little bit spooky with my Hecate. How you been, man? Wait, did my question about home fronts with drones get dropped by the DC? I do not believe that the home front sites will have... They don't spawn sentient, and they probably won't have the cans. So, no. You're in Iceland now. Oh, boy. Do you like it better over there? Are you adapting? Oh, those sites get mined, yeah, usually way faster than 30 minutes. Let's just scan this site. No, yeah. We'll scan this site on our way through. It's nice to be in the office finally. It does look like they have a really good office. Strawberries costing... I'm sorry. The thing is covering that up. Hold on. It's not going to show it. Awesome. $8? That's too much. That's crazy. But I guess that's a good point. There probably isn't a lot of strawberry fields in Iceland, and getting it there can be a tricky one, especially fresh. I don't know if you guys can hear the cops are coming, but they found me. Import fees. Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Has anybody found anything in this latest site? Do you mean the Upwell site? Because there's not a new combat site. Where they just made the old combat sites mean something. Nothing to see? What do you mean? Are you doing, so you're doing the rogue drone? I've been getting them, I've been getting them off of the sentient spawns. I have yet to find like one of those cans that they talked about. Now, one of the things that's really critical is if you can find a drone combat site, like a scanned site, that's been my best bet. Because not only do the scanned combat site often have a guaranteed... no, it's not only in Caldari space. Please don't swap me. Yeah, I have yet to see a can, but especially in like the combat sites, there's like a guaranteed sentient, and I've gotten at least one doodad from every single one of them so far, and they can like escalate. So I had one escalation change, and you give me like 3 or 4 total. Yeah, exactly what Satonia just said. Rogue drone combat anomalies only have a 5% chance to escalate or have a sentient spawn. Yikes. Yeah. Although I will say that, so the sentient I got as a random spawn ended up being, had 4 in it, but that was yesterday. All of the ones that I've gotten today, I think most of them have been from the scanned signatures, and I got 1 per dude. So Satonia, there's the new red can. What is the chances of that red can showing up? And is it in anomalies? Is ship size... The red can is not new. Okay, so it's only the old red cans in signatures, because there's no red cans in anomalies. Is that sounds correct? Is ship size also critical, i.e. running a vagabond may affect it? Well, yes. It is in the drone DED sites, I think. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because that's where like the jackpot loot is. But not the anomalies. Okay, so there's not new cans. Okay, that's a good correction. Thank you. The reason why ship size would be critical is that, you know, some of the smaller sites might not allow larger ships. A Vagabond will probably be fine, but like, yeah, jackpot is in quotes for sure. Your ship doesn't matter for these earlier high-sec sites. You probably want something which can probe and run the sites while warping around pretty fast. Yeah, I think that the T3 Destroyer ended up being a good one. I did run into a low-sec menagerie that I had to run away from. No. Was it the menagerie that I had to run away from? I think so. I think it's about time CCP provided better info, to be honest. Well, like this idea that like these events are partially for us to figure things out. So honestly, Satonia coming in here and telling us that there's a 5% chance is way more than I would have expected. So I kind of disagree. And for the record, in case you weren't aware, Satonia is CCP, so. Yeah, they said to do drone sites to get drops. Now, one of the things I don't actually appreciate, the one thing I don't appreciate about what they didn't say was the extra stuff that are required to turn in. That stuff isn't there, which again, it was why I think that like somebody's going to make a killing selling drone parts in that system because people are going to go there with their doodad and realize that they can't turn it in without I'm about to do it myself. I'm about to get there and realize that I can't turn in because of one part or another. And I'm going to buy it. And if it's in the system, I'm going to buy it in the system, even if it's a little bit more expensive. Yes, Sutonia is the entirety of CCP. The collective consciousness of all 350 or whatever workers that they have there is now subsumed into the consciousness known as Sutonia. One of the things I like to do is find things out on your own instead of following a guide. Well, I mean, like, just today, there was an event that happened in Avoikin that people were not, like, we just didn't realize it until it, or like, it was just a thing that happened in local with NPC actors and stuff. Well, there's a war target in system. That makes things fun. Not here, though. Oh, hell, I can do it from here. Wait, I can do it from here? Oh, no, I have to be within 2,500 meters of it. Cool. Well, we'll go the back way. I'm actually pretty close to it already. Boom. Yes. And then we'll go to propelled dynamics. Why not? So it's just that simple, right? Like, I had a bunch of the extra stuff with me, but I just got 3 prototype, and I still have 1 more graviton. So there's one thing I didn't have enough of. Probably cerebral fragments. So running null drone sites, then buying drone emitters from other players can work too, or selling your components to other players. Yeah, that's a good point. You aren't completely limited to high sec. You can kill sentient spawns and low sec, null sec, which drop a lot more drone components. They just don't drop the new drone. Wait, low sec ones don't? Because it really suggests that low sec sites should drop them. I was running the sites in low sec. Repair? Okay, fine. I'll repair. Okay, some low sec. Okay. Let me guess. The sites that can spawn in both high sec and low sec will do it, but the sites that are low sec only and null sec only won't? Yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. If it can spawn in high sec, then it can drop it. Hey! So when you get 2 of them in this box, that means that it's one of the BPCs. So let's look. I got another small tractor beam and 17 million worth of consortium tokens. $27 million worth of consortium tokens. And 12 million worth of consortium tokens. Womp womp. So 3 boxes. And I got 56 million and one of these BPCs. Which the BPCs are currently in contracts for 51 million. They're down from 90 million this morning. They'll probably go down further until this event is over, in which case their value is going to go back up. Now, just remember that these consortium tractor beams are still better than even Tech 2. But unlike the MTUs, there aren't faction MTUs to set the value in the same way. So these are probably going to be like 50 million or whatever for now. Maybe less. 50, 60, 70, whatever. Because of the BP. Basically, the BPC is the only cost of these things for now. So as long as these BPCs are readily available, then this will stay pretty low. I certainly want to make a couple of these tractor beams for my Abyssal runners. And at least one for my Marauder. And then you can, if you dock up in the Propel Dynamics or the Yitri station, you can just sell it immediately for 100,000 ISK each. Every MTU needs one of those small consortium tractors, though. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, God. Yesterday I was talking about how they're the same cost of production, but that is not true about the consortium mobile tractor unit. The consortium tractor beam and capital tractor beam are the same cost, but the mobile tractor unit requires a consortium small tractor beam to build. So that's going to help increase their value. So it's probably like, not right now. Let's wait at least another day or two for this whole thing to kind of play itself out. But there's a pretty good chance that grabbing a bunch of consortium mobile tractor beams or whatever is, or consortium tractor beams is a really good idea. I don't know. Consortium mobile tractor units are just so fucking good right now. Like, look, guys, they're just so good. They're a third better than the Magpie, the fastest one in the whole game. It's crazy. When T2 tractor units? Well, I mean, this is like, well, I mean, yeah. That's pretty crazy. I'm surprised that the consortium tractor beams do not require the drone doodads that are supposedly for tractor beams. But, yeah. But I think that about covers it. So this is going to be kind of what you can do this weekend. The other good thing about this, the kind of low-key benefit of this event and doing it is that your daily opportunities, like it's really easy to finish your daily opportunities because you're scanning down signatures and you're destroying NPCs. So you get that pretty effortlessly too. But yeah. Let me know, guys, if you are going to be in on this event. I know it's relatively mild. I would have liked for something more. You know, obviously, it's been a while since we've had a good event. And the last few of them, like especially the last one with the Chris chips and everything, were kind of out of a lot of people's reach. So I really appreciate this one being accessible. But I also am afraid that this one, like, this really feels very accessible to new players, but it isn't being presented to new players very much, right? Like, you know, this isn't a proper event right now. So there's nothing that like is really showing people how to do it. It's also not really something that like everyone could be doing right now. And otherwise it'll get really over flooded. So I think that this is a good kind of thing to do right now, but it definitely doesn't cover for like an event. This is no Shadow War. You know, we really, really, really need to start seeing some ramping up towards this summer expansion and whatnot. But yeah. Also, isn't Anger Games this weekend? Anger Games probably this weekend. I would like the I would like it if the Deathless kind of shows up interested in the Graviton stuff as well. I feel like the task is very simple and kind of just slapped together, right? It's very simple. We're testing the new turn-in framework, because if you notice, I was able to turn in multiple things at the same time, right? Like, this is a very basic piece. And chances are, spoilers, what this means is that the summer expansion will include things that involve this trading things out in space mechanic. That it's very common that in the months prior to expansion, we see little events or whatnot like this that allows them to kind of test out new features. In fact, the April Fool's Day thing was also the same sort of thing. They're working on a different feature, or like they're working on a broader functionality to the launcher, but their opportunity to test it live was through an April Fool's Day joke, right? So, I can really see the signs that CCP is like gearing up for the next thing. I really want to know more about it. Yeah, I would say that this is not the thing to come back full time to the Eve over. Certainly not this exact thing, but there is a lot of things going on right now that this is just one piece of. Right now we are in the before times, but we don't know what we're in the before times of what, right? Obviously the shooter's still quite a ways away. I personally believe that the skyhook that we see could very well be tied to the next map that we see in Vanguard, since we're supposed to be getting a new map next month. But at the same time, all of this stuff with Upwell, all this stuff with clone research, and these new development of these facilities, like this Upwell structure that looks like it could be for PI or other planetary kind of interaction, I guess. You would be a fool to think that this is not related to Vanguard. You would also be a fool to think that this is only related to Vanguard. So we'll be keeping an eye on all of this, and anything that comes up and all of our craziest theories will be talked about right here on the Eve Universe show. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you can join in on the conversation, and of course hop into the Discord, or if you want to fly with me, you can come and join the convocation or the invited. We are running around maximizing player engagement with EVE Online and forwarding the efforts of the Deathless and Empyreans in New Eden. The oh no time comes after the before time. That's true. I'm hoping for group sites for the Null Boys. So one of the things that they talked about before, so two things, what could be coming to NullSec. One, they've talked about terraforming NullSec for 2 years now. Okay. Well, a year and a half. So the idea of like using stellar transmuters to affect the local space-time of your system to change what resources and statuses are available within that system in a give or take kind of way is like pretty much exactly like that is what I would expect, right? And then on top of that, they've also talked about they wanted to introduce new sites into NullSec, but they said that they wanted to make it almost like a new kind of escalation rather than something that's like replacing what's already there. So it'll be interesting to see. I do agree that like one of the things that especially old school Echoes did really well was the idea of creating content that people actually teamed up for, even in NullSec. And so that kind of stuff would be pretty cool. Let's upscale Wormholes. Wormholes has a lot of stuff. NullSec has honestly been neglected and downright punished for about 4 years now. I feel kind of bad for them, to be honest. So I think that it's fine for NullSec to get some love this expansion. It's proper and good. I also am very interested in the fact that it could very well be NPC NullSec related, as much if not more than Sovnull. I do love group stuff, including home fronts and other such things. Come fly with us. Join the convocation or the invited. buy a t-shirt, etc., etc. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. Let me go double check. Did I? Oh, before I go, I do. I meant to go on a little rant about this earlier, and I'm going to do it now. Wait, I might. Let's see. So, like, the absolute state of Reddit, guys. Check it out. So, where was it? The monthly economic report has 6 upvotes 6 hours ago, right? And it includes like 68% down upvoted, which means it's 32% downvoted. It's almost 1/3 downvotes on the monthly economic report on the Eve subreddit. Whereas instead we have, we do have this from about the same time, the Plex analysis from 8 hours ago with 106 upvotes. And like this meme about a rattlesnake death, it's 135 upvotes in about the same amount of time. Why am I complaining about this? Because Reddit is only as good as its users, right? Like upvotes, downvotes, whatever. The problem that I have is that there's 415 people watching this, looking at this subreddit right now, 189,000 readers. Whether or not we like it or not, Reddit is a place where a lot of people go to get information. And when we see something like this, where there's like a 33% downvote, the thing is that with that 33% downvote, it's at 7 upvotes, right? Or it's at 7 points. So it pretty much has about, what, 15, 20 votes total? So there's maybe 7 or 8 people. 7 or 8 people are making sure that this post gets downvoted. And it doesn't take very many people to affect where things are on the subreddit and how people think about things. But when a lot of people stop using the subreddit, then all that's left is the shitheels that end up still using it. So I can encourage people to go to Reddit, and if you are going to participate, like put on your hazmat suit ahead of time, realize that there's some spiteful people in there. But like, it's really sad to me that real information about EVE Online gets downvoted, let alone above and beyond, like, is below memes and stuff. But like, downvoting published information about EVE, about EVE Online on the EVE subreddit blows my mind. So whatever. Either way, that's the absolute state of Reddit. And this has been the EVE Universe Show. I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put EVE into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, watching my show, checking it out, liking the stream, commenting. Let me know what you guys think about any of these sorts of things. Are you, what is your theory about the Skyhook? Is it PI? Is it a teleportation project? Is it Valkyrie or Vanguard rather? Is it the new Skinner system? Spoiler, I don't think it's that. And what do we... I need to get some ideas about what else to cover with Kato Ash, our newbie friendly experience. So make sure to let me know those in the comments as well. But all that said, I do want to thank my supporters of my channel, all of you guys that are members and others, especially like Punch and Malik and all you guys that I always thank, and Danny for being here, and Sheesh, you're awesome. I always say this, but like, I'm incredibly blessed that I have your guys' support, that this gets to be my sole source of income, and that I get to spend take care of my son. So this week I got to stream 4 days out of the week, which was pretty awesome, all things considered. Let's hope for a good week next week as well. But until then, I have been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and I'll see you in space. And you know what? Thank you, the lazy one. I'm going to call you out. Thank you, the lazy one. You don't get called out very much because, whatever. But like, you're always here. You're always contributing. You're always like, you know, and Jeff and Lazy One, you guys are honestly as important in my heart as any of these other big time supporters. Don't tell them that. I love you guys. 07. Like the stream!
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city